Jennifer here. Welcome to today's meal prep video. I'm glad that you've joined me today. On the menu we are doing Marry Me chicken with rice and some roasted green beans, and then we are also going to do like a taco casserole thing. I may or may not do it in the Instant Pot. I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to cook it on the stove, and that's going to be with some 99% lean ground turkey, some veggies and stuff thrown in there, season it up, and then I'm just going to pair that with some roasted California vegetables that I like to do in the oven. And so yeah, that's what is the plan for the day. Of course, I will make my chocolate peanut butter protein cookies. I will make my breakfast, prep my fruit bowls, and that's pretty much going to be it. Charlie has already prepped the fruits and vegetables and kind of got the chicken and stuff sliced up. So we are going to get right into the video, and I'm glad that you joined me. If you are new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. I upload 3 times per week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Sundays. And I'm glad that you're here. Let's get into the video, guys. Okay guys, I'm getting ready to head to the shower. Charlie is going to do his part of the prep. We are doing the Marry Me chicken this week. So these chicken breasts he is just going to slice in half lengthwise so that they are thin, just because I don't want to have to cook the full chicken breast. They're too thick in my opinion. We have the 3 bell peppers that he will dice up for my breakfast, and then of course just slice the tomato for my lunch, and the cantaloupe and pineapple as normal. And then these mini sweet peppers, I'm doing like a taco casserole something or another in the Instant Pot. I don't really know how it's going to turn out, but I do want to slice these up into like little rings just to put in there to kind of bulk up the mixture. And it's going to be made with 99% lean ground turkey, and I've got some taco seasoning and stuff to put in there, and some red lentil pasta as well. I don't eat a lot of pasta, but I decided to try this recipe. I saw Lauren at Louise Lane. She made some Instant Pot recipes, and it kind of gave me the inspiration for this. So I'm going to kind of modify it a little bit. Hers kind of turned out like soupy almost. She did it in the Instant Pot. I don't know if I'm going to do it on the Instant Pot or just do it on the stove. But anyway, that's what is on the agenda for today. And of course we have Nico back there being nosy as usual. We're probably going to have to put him up somewhere because he will not leave the food alone. But that is Charlie's agenda for the day, and I'm going to head to the shower. So we will roll right into the footage of him doing his prep. Okay guys, I'm going to let those blueberries soak for a few minutes, and then I will rinse them a couple of times really well. That way they don't have any vinegar taste, but it does help to clean your produce if you wash it in vinegar. And then we're going to prep our fruit bowls. Charlie has my cantaloupe and pineapple ready here, and also my diced peppers. We'll go ahead and get all of that put together real quick. Okay guys, I have my pineapple, my cantaloupe, and my blueberries here ready. I'm going to just throw them in the containers real quick. We will zip right through this and get this together and out of the way. And then I have my yogurt and my little yogurt cups out. Somehow or another I ended up with an extra yogurt this week. I'm not sure why. So I'm only making 6 fruit bowls because 2 of my other bowls are dirty. and I don't want to have to hand wash it, to be honest. And so I just figured Saturday or something next week I'll make another one of those TikTok wraps or something, try to beef it up a little bit and make it a little more interesting and have the fries and not have fruit with it. But anywho, let's get this done real quick. Nico is also up here on the counter. You just can't see him at the moment, so if you do, I'm going to throw him off. But y'all know Nico is a little problem child. He's trying to push my little lids off right now, so I'm going to have to get rid of him. Hold 1 second. I swear, that cat, he's crazy, y'all. But I love him. But he's crazy. Alright, let's get some fruit bowls made. My completed fruit bowls as usual. I did 6 fruit bowls. I only did 5 yogurts because for some reason, maybe I prepped an extra one last week, but there is one little yogurt left in there. I'm not sure how that happened because I always ate my yogurt whenever I ate my fruit. So, anyway, it's fine. I will just eat it tomorrow. That way I can go ahead and get it eaten up. And then I have my diced peppers in here and my sliced tomato for my sandwiches. So I'm going to get this put up and we are going to start on the Marry Me chicken. To go along with the Marry Me chicken, we are just going to have some jasmine rice, which that's what I have in this container here. It's just labeled. These are my instructions so that I wouldn't forget. 1 cup of rice to 1.5 cups of water. So what I want is 6 cups of cooked rice. So I'm going to do 3 cups of uncooked rice and just put it in this little rice cooker. This is one that I bought used somewhere. It's a little Sanyo, but it works great. I'm just going to spray the inside of it. I always forget that step, and then Charlie's always having to scrub it. But this is a 2-cup measuring cup, so I'm going to measure out 2 cups of rice, put it in, and then 1 more cup. So there's 2, and then we will do 1 more cup. Perfect. So that's 3 cups of rice. So then I need 1.5 times that in water. So I need 4.5 cups of water or some kind of liquid. So I'm going to do half water and half chicken broth because I think that the chicken broth helps give the rice a little bit of a better flavor. So I do need some chicken broth for my Marry Me chicken. I need 3/4 of a cup, and I've already opened this and measured out that 3/4 of a cup that I need for that. So I'm going to definitely use that. That's a cup of chicken broth. And I am going to need chicken broth for the other recipe that I'm making as well. So I went ahead and opened another can. So I think I'm going to do about that much chicken broth and then the rest just in water. So I'm going to need 4.5 cups. So actually, let me just go ahead and do 2 full cups of chicken broth. And then I'll do 1.5 cups of water. And there's 1.5 cups of water. So, is that correct? I need 4.5 cups. I can't do simple math. So I actually need another cup of water. Okay, there we go. 4.5 cups of liquid to 3 cups of rice. All you do is shut it and turn it on, and it does all the work for you, and then it will just hold it warm. So while I'm fixing everything else, this will be perfectly fine sitting here and I don't have to worry about it. And I do kind of turn it a little bit because sometimes some steam will start to come out of the top and I don't want it to hit under the top of my cabinet there, which my cabinet is right there. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just going to leave that alone and let's get started on the chicken and the green beans. For the Marry Me chicken, I have this recipe here. I don't know if you can see where I've kind of made my notes on the changes that I made, because if you cook it like it is, then it is a lot more points. So to make it lower points, and the way I did it was 2 points, I substituted so it calls for a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm not going to use olive oil, I'm going to use olive oil spray. And then the chicken breast, it doesn't matter how much I use since I'm on the blue plan. Charlie actually just cut up 6 chicken breasts and he just sliced them in half thin so that we'll each basically get 1 full chicken breast each night. It'll just be 2 thin slices. and salt, pepper, 2 cloves of garlic, which I will just use that minced garlic that I already have in the jar, thyme, red pepper flakes. It says a teaspoon, or you can half that if you don't want it as spicy, but we like the spice. 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth, half a cup of heavy cream. So I'm substituting half and half for the heavy cream because it is less points. And then it calls for half a cup of sun-dried tomatoes chopped. Now the last time that I used it, I used this other sun-dried tomatoes in the jar with the oil, but I did get some in the bag, so I'm gonna see if that changes the points and makes it even less. But as this is, it's 8 points. I mean 8 points. As this is, it is 2 points, so I need to swap out the sun-dried tomatoes just to see. But what I did with the sun-dried tomatoes before in the oil was drain the oil, and the jar had like the calories on it with or without the oil, but I feel like the ones that I've got in the little bag will be less points. And then 1/4 of a cup to half of a cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to use 1/4 of a cup of the already shredded Parmesan cheese and fresh basil. I don't have any fresh basil, and actually the last time that I tried to make this, I think I bought fresh basil and then forgot to even use it. But you basically start it in the skillet and cook the chicken and get the sauce and everything in there, and then it finishes up in the oven. So I need to preheat my oven to 375, and you want to make sure that you put it in a skillet that can go into the oven, so nothing with any rubber handles or anything. I have a huge stainless steel skillet that I'm going to use. I wish I got Charlie to get it out for me. He went to run some errands. Our Wi-Fi is messed up, so we finally figured out it was the router. We thought it was the modem, so he's running to Walmart to get a new router. So basically it's pretty simple. Once you kind of get it all mixed together, and you fry the chicken and put it in the oven, and then it does all the work for you. And then I also have some green beans that I'm going to just put on a sheet pan, season them up, put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on those. Those come out to 1 point. So I think my rice is going to be 6 points, my Marry Me chicken should be 2 points, and then my green beans will be 1. So it'll be a 9-point dinner, which isn't bad. I think it'll be really good. So that's what we're going for. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and get my green beans ready and my side vegetables for my other meal and get those in the oven roasting, because they will take a little while, and these are real easy to throw together. Then we're going to cook the chicken. But I've got 2 bags of this broccoli Normandy. They come in like 4 little bags in those big bags from Sam's Club. So I'm just going to put those on here, which I've already lined my sheets with aluminum foil. These have been in the freezer for a while, so they need to be used up. I'm gonna break them up a little bit. The only thing that I like to season these veggies with is this Montreal steak seasoning, which I don't know if you've ever tried that or not, but it is delicious on these frozen vegetables. It does make them spicy, but y'all know I love my spicy food. So we're gonna go in with a generous helping, a generous sprinkle of this, if I can get it going. All right, we're gonna have to go the other side. If you don't like things spicy, I would not recommend this. Otherwise, I would just do salt, pepper, garlic, salt, you know, stuff like that. But this is delicious to us. So that's ready to go in the oven. And then for the green beans, I'm going to layer those on here and try to get them as flat as I can. Try to break off any little ends that are left on here. Okay, and then to season the green beans, I'm going to do 1 ounce of this Parmesan cheese, which this is going to make it 1 point per serving, but that is fine. And I have that measured out here. And then I'm just going to do salt and pepper. And then I'm going to do some onion powder, garlic salt, and then chili powder and cumin. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of spice in there. Y'all know how I like to spice it up. And so I'm just going to generously season it. Of course, always season to your taste. And we're going to go in with some pepper. And actually, I'm going to spray these too with some of the olive oil spray. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of onion powder. some garlic salt, a little chili powder, not too much, and just a little bit of cumin. And the only reason I'm really adding the chili powder and the cumin is because, I don't know, I just feel like that is such a good combination and gives everything just that extra little, I don't know, something that it needs. And then we have our Parmesan cheese. I'm going to sprinkle like half of this on and then kind of stir it up and then sprinkle the other half on. And I'm just going to give it another little spritz with some olive oil spray. And put the rest of the cheese on them. And there we go. We're going to go in the oven. I'm just going to go ahead and put both of these in. I'm just going to put a timer for 30 minutes and then see if they need any more time. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But by that time, I should have the Marry Me chicken ready to go into the oven. Okay, in the oven they go, 30 minutes for now. We're finally ready to start on the Marry Me chicken. So the first step basically is to season up your chicken with salt and pepper, sear it on both sides until it's kind of golden brown. It says about 4 or 5 minutes. I'll probably cook it a little bit longer until I feel like it's almost done. And then you take it out and put it on a plate. Then we will basically make the sauce. Then we will put the chicken back in and then it goes in the oven. So I'm going to season this up really well. I think I'm going to use this salt and pepper because it will be quicker. Maybe. This is almost empty. And I'm hoping that I can fit all of these in here. Skillet. Cooking up really well. I washed my little salt and pepper things because I felt like I contaminated them. So anyway, I don't really like sticking my fingers in here. I thought it would be quick and easy, but it wasn't. It's better to use a little spoon. So I'm just going to let them dry really well before I put it back together. I do love this little salt and pepper thing, but I'm not really a fan of putting my fingers in there. And then after touching the chicken, I thought, oh my gosh, I've contaminated it. So I have to wash them. What I'll probably do is just fry these up in 2 separate pans, but then put them back just in the one big pan together to go into the oven because I think that will be fine. So while that's going over here, I have a half a cup of half and half already measured out, which I'm going to go stick this back in the refrigerator. I have 1 serving of the Parmesan cheese, which is 28 grams. And then I'm just going to use this whole bag of sun-dried tomatoes, which this I think pretty much came up to 0 points. Whenever I put it in, it did not change the points per serving, so it's still 2 points per serving. And then I have my minced garlic ready, and I need to get my seasonings out. So we shall be right back. Here is the chicken. I had to turn my fan on. It was super loud, so I just finished frying it up. So it is just resting on the plate, and now we get to make the sauce in the skillet. And you're just going to put in your 2 tablespoons or 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons of garlic. And you don't want to overcook your garlic, so you really just want to cook it for like a minute or so, like it says, because it will burn. and burnt garlic is not good. So just pro tip that I learned a long time ago, if you overcook it, it will burn. And then we're going to stir in the thyme, the red pepper flakes, the chicken broth, and the heavy cream. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in my chicken broth. That way the garlic doesn't overcook, because that skillet's pretty dry. The heavy cream. And 1 teaspoon of thyme. So I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of this. Well, that won't fit in there. And then 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And I'm going to go ahead and do the full teaspoon. You could do half if you don't want it as spicy. And then basically we just keep stirring this for about 5 minutes, and then we will add in the Parmesan cheese and the sun-dried tomatoes. And this meal is really good. That's why it's called Marry Me Chicken, because you know you're supposed to make it for your significant other to get them to marry you. You know, it's supposed to be so good. It's supposed to bring you together. I'd never heard of it until I saw Tiffany Beeston make it on her channel, and so I looked the recipe up. And this recipe is from modernhoney.com. I cannot speak today for some reason, but it's actually pretty simple. There are a few steps to it, but overall I think it's simple, especially once you get this part done. And then we put the chicken back in, and then it goes in the oven and does the rest of the work in there for, it says 15 to 18 minutes. I probably put it in for about 20 minutes. Just because y'all know I like stuff well done. So I think that the veggies are about done. I'm just going to leave them in the oven until I get ready to put the chicken in. Just to try to let the green beans crisp up a little bit more. Okay, so I think that we are ready to go ahead and add in the Parmesan cheese and the sun-dried tomatoes. And then we'll add the chicken in and just kind of spoon it over the chicken. And y'all, the sun-dried tomatoes is what makes this so good. I wish y'all could smell this through the camera. It smells heavenly. Alright, so I've got my chicken. Whoa, there's a little juice on there. And I'm just going to place each piece back in here. And we'll just kind of get a spoon and stir the sauce in it good. Cover it up. Okay guys, we're going in the oven for 20 minutes. As here is the Marry Me chicken. We just pulled it out of the oven. I'm just gonna get started on my taco casserole and just kind of let this set and cool off a little bit, but it looks and smells delicious. Over here I also have the green beans. They are done. And then also the roasted vegetables that will be the side with my taco casserole. Those are done as well. My rice is also done. It's just sitting here on the keep warm function on here, and let's see what it looks like. See, it's perfect. I haven't even opened it, but this will just keep it nice and warm until I get ready to plate it up. So I'm just going to leave that, and we're going to get started here on the taco casserole. So I have all the ingredients out. Now this says to cook it in the Instant Pot. However, I'm just going to cook it in this big pot because I feel like that's a lot of extra work to get the Instant Pot out. And I used to make something similar to this with really just like ground beef and I am forgetting one ingredient. My peppers. But I used to just brown ground beef, put some taco seasoning in it, put some of these pepper rings in there, and eat that just like that back when I used to do a low-carb diet. But this comes out to 5 points. I have entered it in on my tracker. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. 5 points per serving. And that's going to be 2 packages of the 99% lean ground turkey. That is the whole box of this red lentil pasta. A can of chicken broth, and then a teaspoon of each of these, or 2 teaspoons of each of these, the whole packet of taco seasoning, the Publix tomato sauce, which is 0 points. Like I've said before, watch out for your tomato sauces. They're not all 0 points. 2 cans of the diced tomatoes, and then this whole packet of this Frontera taco skillet sauce. But I think this is going to be really good. Basically, I'm going to brown up the meat and everything, and then once that's done, I will put in the tomato sauce and the diced tomatoes and the chicken broth, and then put in the noodles and just kind of let it simmer until the noodles are soft enough. On the Instant Pot, it says to, saute and then put your noodles in and put it on the high pressure or whatever for 3 minutes, and then do a quick release, and then you sprinkle some cheese on top. I'm not going to put any cheese on it, I don't think, because it's already 5 points, but we are just having veggies with this, so I'll think about that. I forgot that it does call for some Mexican blend cheese, so I might use some of my fat-free cheese. We'll see. But I'll just think about that and see what it looks like at the end, and see if I want to add that. So this is what we're doing. Let's get started. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to just spray my pot really good, which I got this pot at either Marshall's or TJ Maxx somewhere. It's really nice. It's really big and deep, and so cooking stuff like this, it's perfect. And then I'm going to get my 2 packs of lean ground turkey in there. And I know that we won't have to drain any grease off of this because it's the 99% lean ground turkey. But if you were using ground beef or something, you would probably want to drain it before you started adding your seasonings. But I'm going to go ahead and salt and pepper really well, of course. And it says to go ahead and add in your taco seasoning at this point. So that's what we'll do. Okay, so the turkey is just about brown. I'm going to go ahead and add in these peppers because this is something that is not in the recipe, and that way they can kind of brown up a little bit before I start adding in all of the other stuff, because I do want those to soften up pretty good too. Okay, so I feel like that's been cooking for a pretty good amount of time. I'm going to go ahead and add in my tomatoes, my tomato sauce, my Frontera skillet sauce, and chicken broth, and the red lentil pasta. So we're going to do 2 cans of the diced tomatoes. And I may have to add a little more seasoning to this. We will see what it tastes like. And the tomato sauce, because that's a lot of tomatoes that are not seasoned. And I'm going to do the whole can of chicken broth, and then I had a little bit left in another can from the rice and Marry Me chicken that I made earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that little dab as well. Now, the recipe says not to stir it, but I'm stirring it, and then I'm going to stir in the pasta. And I don't know if that's an Instant Pot thing. It says to like press the pasta in or whatever, but we're going to stir it up, and we're going to add in the pasta. Oh, and the Frontera sauce. I think my recipes are kind of completely different than whichever one I'm following, but I used to make something similar to this, and I have no idea where I got the recipe, but I could not find it. Like, I even pulled up my FitnessPal because I used to track macros. I thought maybe it would be in there, and it wasn't. And then I am going to give it a good stir. Oh, and I need to add in my chili powder and garlic salt too, I guess, at this point. I should have added my spices in earlier. Oh well, we'll just do it now. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of chili powder, which this is a half teaspoon, so I'm going to do 4 of them. Just 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do the same thing with the garlic salt. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of that as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to give it a really good stir, and then I think we're just going to put the lid on it and let it cook until the pasta is cooked. And hopefully the sauce thickens up on it. Like I mentioned earlier, I watched Lauren at Louise Lane make this recipe or something similar in the Instant Pot, and hers was real liquidy. so it like never really absorbed the liquid, so she thought that it called for too much. But we'll see how mine turns out. I'm using more stuff, you know, with the peppers, and I'm not sure if she used 2 pounds of meat or if she just did 1, but we will be back to check on that. I'm going to put the lid on it and do a little cleanup. Okay, we're going to go ahead and plate up the Mary Me chicken while the pasta casserole thing is still baking. And so I'm just going to use the round bowls and put the rice in, and then put the chicken on top, and then I'm going to use these little long containers for the green beans. I always have to keep those in the different containers. They're just so long, otherwise I'd have to cut the green beans up. So I'm hoping that 1 cup of rice is exactly what we end up with per container. So I'm going to make these to where they have 200 grams in each one of them, and my battery's going to die, so I'm going to have to change that out real quick. So let me get this measured out to 200 grams each. If I have any left over, then I might cram that in Charlie's and then just label his, but let me see how many 200 grams of the rice is, because I really don't know. So 1 cup, it says, is 6 points. So 200 grams is 7 points. So that's going to make it 7 points for me for the rice at 200 grams. So that's what I'm going to make 3 bowls for me, and then I'll just divide the rest between Charlie. Okay, Charlie got me a new battery. So I have my 3 containers with 200 grams of cooked jasmine rice, and the app says that that is 7 points. The Mary Me chicken will be 2 points, and then the green beans will be 1 point. So this will be a 10-point dinner for me. Now for Charlie's, I'm not going to measure the rice for him. I'm just going to try to divide out what I have left over, and I'm just going to put like a post-it note or something on his so that we can keep them separate. Alright, that's good enough. That's easy to tell the difference too. His are going to be a lot heavier than mine. Now each one will get 2 chicken breasts. I'm going to kind of do like a bigger one and a smaller one in each one. Forgets that I'm filming, so he just comes over here and decides to change the trash bag, make all kinds of noise. Okay, and just so you can see up close, that's what one of these looks like. This is mine with the 200 grams of jasmine rice, 2 chicken breasts, and lots of sun-dried tomatoes on there. And this is delicious. I actually haven't had it with rice before. We've tried it with mashed potatoes. I'm not a fan of mashed potatoes. The last time I did some kind of cauliflower rice, and I did not like that. So this time I just decided to eat the regular rice because I love plain jasmine rice. So anyway, I'm going to plate up the green beans now. The Mary Me chicken and the green beans completed. It looks and smells and actually all tastes delicious. This is Charlie's over here. He's the one that's got the huge serving of rice with his, and then his 3 green beans, which I'm not going to label the green beans, but I am going to label the other containers, although you can pick them up and tell because mine is so much lighter than his, but just in case. So I have 200 grams of jasmine rice measured out in mine, and then there are my green beans to go along with it. So this will be a 10-point meal, and I think that's good because I don't really eat my fit points or anything, and I barely usually hit my 23 points every day. This turned out good. Now I'm ready to plate up my pasta. Okay guys, I'm going to plate up my taco pasta casserole, whatever you want to call it. I really don't know if it's more like a soup or like a casserole or something. It is still a little bit liquidy in there. Tastes really good. So we're just going to go with it. I'm just going to eyeball it and divide it into these 6 containers, and then I have my veggies to go in there as well for 0. This came out to 5 points. I did not add any cheese to it. I figured the night that we eat it, if we want to put cheese on it, then we can then, because we will warm it up in the microwave and then the cheese would melt and be nice and fresh on there. So I probably won't use cheese. Charlie might. He loves to use like the Mexican cheese and put on things, but we will see. So I'm going to plate this up, and we're getting close to being done. It'll be time to do cookies, and then I'll make my breakfast stuff, and we will be finished. May have to get my big spoon. See my big spoon? It's huge. Yeah, that's some big portions right there. I'm telling y'all, that is a hearty portion. So, you know, one thing, I always feel like a lot of people starve themselves. They don't eat hardly anything, and they still don't lose weight. I'm like, I eat a lot of food. I probably eat at least 2,000 calories a day. I know that I count Weight Watchers points, but that's just because it's easy. But if I plug all of this into my Fitness Pal, it's probably well over 2,000 calories a day. So, you know, my tip is to choose healthy whole foods. Eat enough to keep, you know, to fuel your body. That's the whole point. Work out, and don't starve yourself. It's not worth it, and it doesn't work long term. Find something that's, you know, is satiating for you to eat that will fill you up. I try to supplement my meals with lots of 0 point foods, if y'all notice, just like those peppers and, you know, the 99% lean ground turkey. Just because a recipe doesn't call for things doesn't mean that you can't add it or change it. So I've just tried to figure out how to modify everything just to try to fit into my lifestyle and still be able to eat quite a bit of food. I mean, that is a lot of food. So, and then we still have the veggies to eat along with it. But again, this is going to be a great 5 point meal, and then my other meal is 10 points. So yeah, I think it's going to be another super filling week. We'll see how I do on my weight loss. I had hearty meals last week, and I lost 2.2 pounds or something like that after stalling for a few weeks. But that's just the way that my body is. I'll have some losses, and then I'll just have some weeks where I stay about the same. And it's okay. But anyway, don't starve. Eat good food. The completed taco, well, it's technically called Instant Pot Taco Casserole, but I did not do it in the Instant Pot, and I'm not sure if it really is a casserole. I guess it's more of a casserole than soupy. It's kind of thickening up, but it is 5 points per serving for the pasta and 0 points for the veggies, but this looks hearty and delicious. Can't wait to try it. I'll let you know how I like it. We are ready to make some chocolate peanut butter protein cookies. And so here are the ingredients that you need. I know I've shown this over and over again, but for anyone new, I do 1 scoop of the PE Science Select Frosted Chocolate Cupcake Protein Powder. I do 1 scoop of this Matrix Peanut Butter Cookie Protein Powder. You can order both of these off of Amazon. I do have those linked in my Amazon store for you. A lot of people have substituted PB2 for the peanut butter cookie protein powder because either they don't have access to it or didn't want to order it. So I think those have turned out well for them. The ones that have tried the PB2, I personally haven't tried it. I just love the Matrix. And this is a huge container. I mean, as many cookies as I've made, it's just now getting a little bit below halfway full, half empty, whichever way you want to look at it. But anywho, you're also going to need half a can of pumpkin for 1 batch of cookies. I'm going to use about 10 grams of cocoa, 5 grams of this Jell-O sugar-free chocolate fudge pudding mix, a big scoop of baking powder, 14 grams of the Lily's no sugar added dark chocolate baking chips, and then about 100 grams, maybe a little more, of the egg whites. I always just kind of play that by ear depending on the consistency. have the Pam baking spray out here, and we will just put it on this baking sheet and scoop it into 12 cookies. So let's get this thrown together. I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees, and then it will bake for 9 minutes. Okay, I'm going in with 1 scoop of PE Science Select chocolate protein powder first. I like to mix all of the dry ingredients, and then I'll add the wet ingredients. 1 scoop of the peanut butter matrix. I'm going to use my scale and just weigh out the Hershey's Special Dark Cocoa. It's hard to see there. This is the one I like to use. Can y'all see that? And then I'm going to add 5 grams of the Jell-O sugar-free pudding. And then we're going to add 1 large tablespoon of the baking powder. And then we are just going to mix this together until it is well blended. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and go in with our wet ingredients. So we're going to do about half of this can of pumpkin, which there's 425 grams in here, so we're just going to do about 210, 212, wherever it stops. It's 0 points, it's not that big of a deal. 215, perfect. And then we're going to do 100 grams of egg whites, which that actually had 1/16 left in it. I didn't think it had that much. That's why I got 2 containers out. But y'all know I always add a little bit extra, so it'll be fine. Which this does still seem a little dry, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more. Okay, I think that's perfect. We're going to add in the 14 grams of baking chips. Okay, I'm just going to spray my pan with my baking spray. And scoop out my 12 cookies.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how.
Okay, these are ready. They're going in the oven for 9 minutes. Here are the cookies, fresh out of the oven. They're looking perfect. They will flatten down. And these are not cookies that you can eat right away. I've had some people make them and try to eat them immediately and did not like them. You have to let them completely cool. And actually, I won't eat them until later tonight after dinner. And then I just store them in a Rubbermaid Tupperware container, whatever you want to call it. And then I just warm them up for 30 seconds whenever I get ready to eat them. But they're the perfect low point chocolatey treat. They're good. Some people take like 2 of them and put some kind of, I forget what they put in the middle of them. One person put some kind of white chocolate something, and somebody else put like some marshmallow cream or something. So you could really, you know, you could pair this with a little bit of Halo Top vanilla ice cream. It would probably be good. There's no telling what you could, you know, put together. I'm simple. I like them plain. It fills me up perfectly. So anyway, it's worth trying. Try the cookies, y'all. Alright, here is my completed meal prep, everyone. It's perfect. It looks delicious. All of the meals are hearty. Let's go through it real quick. So I have my 6 fruit bowls here and 6 containers of yogurt. And yes, I only prepped 5 containers earlier because I thought I had an extra in the refrigerator, but I did find an old thing of fruit left from last week, so I moved it to eat it tomorrow, and I went ahead and made a 6 container. Down here I have the taco casserole and roasted vegetables, but it looks hearty, filling, and delicious. This is a 5-point meal, the way that I made it, with red lentil pasta, 99% lean ground turkey, use some 0 tomato sauce and stuff like that. So the only thing that counts points is the pasta, and then the taco seasonings and the Frontera packet I think that I put in there. Here is the Marry Me chicken. These 3 on this side are mine. I have labeled Charlie's, and I will put it on the lid, but I put a post-it note on the bottom so that I would know which ones are his. So I have Marry Me chicken. I have 200 grams of jasmine rice and the roasted green beans. So this will be a 10-point meal for me. And of course, Charlie got all of the extra rice in his bowls, so that's why I have labeled his separately. And then the 5 days of scrambled eggs, I went ahead and made those. I made my 10 strips of bacon, and I have my chocolate cookies. All in all, another successful meal prep. Very excited, feeling prepared. I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat every day. I already know. What we do, I do make this for myself and my husband. I have had that question a lot. And so we have 12 meals here. So for 6 nights, we will just alternate. So one night we will have taco casserole. The next night we'll have the Marry Me chicken. We'll just swap back and forth like that so that it's not exactly the same night after night. And we will do that Sunday night through Friday night. Those are the 6 nights. Saturday, we usually go out to eat. Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you so much for watching my meal prep video, and I hope that you got some good ideas, and I hope that you try some of these recipes. Please let me know down in the comments if you do try either one of them. The Marry Me chicken, you cannot never go wrong with that. Everybody loves it. It is delicious. It is hearty. It is filling, and I've shown you ways that you can cut the points on it compared to the way the recipe that I'm going to link down below in the description box says to make it. And then with the pasta casserole thing, again, I modified that as well to make it lower points to fit into my lifestyle, and I tasted it. I think it tastes pretty good. We'll see how we like it later in the week. By the time that I post this video, I will know how I like it, and so I'll pin a comment down below on what we thought about both of the meal preps. But I am so glad that you are here, and if this is your first time watching one of my videos and you like this video, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss any time that I upload. I upload 3 times per week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Sundays, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.